I wanted to think about the economy of Rome the other day and now Egypt. I don't know if it's going to come up today, but mummy making. And then you find out they even made mummies out of cats and dogs and their pets. It was a complete industry. And I'm sure not everybody could afford it or would want a mummy. The hard part is explaining the first sin. The hard part is explaining the first sin. The first sin was against him, all capital letters, him, the spirit God that identifies as Father. That's the hard part. Where did the sin begin? As clues include, someone is the father of lies. Someone sinned from the beginning, but a less scrupulous group now are found teaching the first sin was a menage a trois in the Garden of Eden with Satan, Adam, and Eve, where you get the Nephilim get married. I'm trying to sound snarky. Not patronizing, I'm condescending to them. But a less scrupulous group are found teaching the first sin was a menage a trois in the Garden of Eden. Should not be hard. But we are born to be sex fiends like them unless we hear voice. The voice calling, yoo-hoo, lost sheep, come on, I am your home. We did not even know we were in the valley of death. Somehow, sheep are half asleep. Ba, ba, ba. But for the people my age, what we learned was ba, 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 baran, ba, 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 baran. Take my hand, going to the dance looking for romance. I mean, that is how we grew up. Before really the Beach Boys, there were the Box Tops and the Lettermen, but we didn't know nothing about no black groups. They didn't go that far. Ba 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 ba. There is a plan I am living and told to be discerning or I perish. 2019, the toxic men. Did I come to a frontier university? Remember when all of this was going down? It was still the Epstein thing, but there was always the plan. Was I put in jail somehow in a frontier town? Yeah. When the government paid, why wasn't I reimbursed? Well, I think they try to break you. They want us broke. Dealing with it, looking back, I mean, looking way back past this present trouble to the 1970 when I was just watched a man land on the moon and I was being programmed. I had parents that hadn't been lobotomized, institutionalized, but they must have thought we were capable of being taught, so they put a globe on every desk and faked the globe. Looking back, I wish I would have started with the short skis instead of, I would not have had these bad knees now. My overconfidence was dependent upon. We have no alone black swans, a black swan event. there is the realization there's always been black swans. I was not a black swan. We were black swans. And we are tired that the unexpected norm, that the realization there were black swans, we are like those black swans, that we even exist, that we could not buy into the globe, NASA, DARPA lies. Nevertheless, we were programmed to ski, were we not? In my age, you remember, you wanted to go learn how to ski. You had chapstick, newly invented to protect your lips. Susie Chapstick taught us about it, and she could ski like nobody's business. But ski bums were drawn closer to the sun. You realize you're closer to the sun, and I live now where it's close to the sun. Something's going to happen, but I was not Paco to mince the quillies with the waking up of the non-toxic masculine male, because you're our hope, and you will be the teachers of women who say, now that's a man that other girl who wanted to trans into a man was looking to, because there's all of these trans women who wish they were man. What is their ideal? Is it the female where they never have to say, why didn't you shave your legs for me this morning? Everything is a dream world. Welcome, everybody, to Mudflood was Armageddon. The Mudflood was the Armageddon. Don't let them tell you anything else unless they are willing to debate in a non-violent way. If you could leave that alone, unless your initials are RJ, that'd be, because it's a new year and there's a lot going on. You're going to see first there, that works. Now this. Oh man, I could even say I don't trust doctors. You should go see one and tell them there's people out there that don't trust you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm one of those. But hey, now I can show this. So I did take some new pictures. Look, there's the girl. It's 1970 all over again. It's the ski boom. Ski boom. Roger Brown. That's Susie. That's Susie. You could be like that on top of the world. Look, no goggle, no helmet. Skis, no ski board. So I said something the other day about, you know, when they were going to do some building for Solomon, one of the projects that would look alike, I'm looking at Second Chronicles, second chapter, verse number 2, 80,000 stone cutters. So sometimes they wonder how many stone cutters. I mean, I like that guy that calls it Donkeys Incorporated. They must have built all the cities, Donkeys Incorporated. They could just bring, hey, lunchbox guy, they needed 80,000 stone cutters. That's not even counting. Uh, I know you're close on that. It would take this many donkeys or mules. Yeah, it takes this many people just, and this was only for the one house of the name of the Lord, because God is so much better. He said, our God's so much better. He has to have, let's look at verse 5. The house that I am building will be great, for our God is greater than the poser Elohims that were created. That's what everybody figured out. That's what everybody, joy to the world. Hey, that's a real mummy. A white mummy in China wrapped in a red and blue, or is that a pink and blue blanket? Huh. Fred, what do you got going there, Freddie? So I wish I had more time in between these shows. I know the peer-reviewed guys get a bunch of doctoral candidates and months between every paper, but I got to go every day. I like to do it 7 to 10 times a week. This is my thing, man. Look at that. It's natural body part of a Titan. Hey, how many pyramidal shapes do you see in your body? Ask the crystals when they form. That's your thumbnail for today. That's fake. Nope, wait. It's a burial mountain. It's natural. It's something. Anyway, the only reason I saved this picture was because, hey, this guy was throwing gang signs that seem familiar to the Eastern Orthodox Church, but it's the white Buddha. My goodness. Isn't that the guy that is the Pink Panther and is so funny in all those movies? It's it's the gang sign. Hey, look, and a UFO or a lotus flower. What do they got? I don't know. I know it doesn't make me want to shout. This is what I was trying to tell you about, but I couldn't find the picture. Now I found it. So this is in the middle of the desert. They're being buried in boats. These are supposed to be boats. You'll see it. Not so much the ones sticking up. I couldn't figure out if those were supposed to be boats, but I know their coffins are boats. Hope I got a picture of it. So here they are. And anyway, these worldwide patterns that are everywhere. Were these missionaries? Were these Hebrews? There are 12 sons, 4 mommies. They like to get the tattoos on their head, I guess. But I liked the hat. I mean, I loved the hat. I got a picture of another hat I like in case anybody wants to know what I think. This guy, I mean, it's like looking in a mirror down to what the medicine we wear on our hands to keep the blood flowing right. I don't know. What do you got? They're all boats they find everywhere. Look at the head on that boat. It's a toy, I guess. There's that hat I like. It looks warm to me. Ephedra is a plant I would like to grow. I would like to drink it. See what it's like. So anyway, the robe, it says the main wife. There's no, we don't know. Is so fine. And it's hard. It's hard to imagine their weaving technology could have reached such advanced stages at the time. In a small grave next to the main tube, a baby was found. I showed you a picture of the baby. They call it burgundy and blue cashmere cap. They're weaving. It's a level that, hey, I got a picture of it. Hey, it's that tartan stuff. What in the world? Don't give me none of that white power. You know I'm not going to buy it. White power! It doesn't float around here. Hey, did you know that all your superhero crap started during World War II? On film, anyway, when they could really propagandize everybody. They brought back Batman and Robin on TV in 1966 because they showed something in theaters from 1943. Batman and Robin was popular. Next thing you know, uh, the theme song, Boom Pow, attacks on Pearl Harbor, false flaggity doodah. It was the goddess Columbia Pictures. Beat the dead horse, Paco, beat it more. This guy bought Monarch Mountain. Hey, Zach Mac, thanks for sending me that video. It's pretty badass. I didn't realize that when I saved this picture That's the guy that bought it. He died in jail, but man, he, you know, they laundered the dirty money and it's still opened. I really only have had one chance to enjoy skiing, and I went to the Monarch Mountain for exactly the reason it exists. It's affordable for people who want to ski without spending a fortune. You want to ski for 4 days instead of 1 day in Breckenridge in line? Go to Monarch. Look at what I got here. I don't even know where to start. Huh. Anyway, this is all part of the plan. They've been doing it. I noticed it for a long time ago. The only really one I really liked was this one. That's pretty cool. I wonder why I like it so much. Anybody have any ideas? Here's another one. What was this video? A cult meeting of the stars. Anyway, I clicked on it thinking like, yeah, tear him up, guy. He's into it. He's explaining like, here's what's real. You should check out these guys. It's all about this stuff, man. And I'm going like, whoa, wait a minute. So they are out there. They got their side of the story, and they make you want to shout. Roll your leg up and shout. Put a knife to your throat and shout. I'm going to hang a noose around your throat now. Whatever. Does this make my butt look fat? Dude, have you no shame? You didn't know, I guess. You're going to put a knife to your throat, threaten you, and then you're going to say, guess what, man? You're one of us. Is it take an ex-Christian to expose the Mormon angle of all of this? Glenn Beck, who was propped up by Rush Limbaugh to support Mitt Romney in his future, like, oh, it's cool, it's okay. Mormons are like Christians in a way. Yeah, sure they are. So I guess we got some trouble in the overnight banking. That's from last night. This is this morning, not December, not 2025, not even Wednesday. But they owe 75 billion with the B lot, big number. Repo. I remember repo used to mean they're going to take your car. Now it means they're going to take your credit card. So this is what it is. These repos. They're loaning out their money at 3.75% because they would have had to close their bank and say there's no more banking going on here. Am I even sharing the screen? Sometimes when I don't check, did you really? You know, that is the continental divide, Zackamundo. Yeah. But I can never know. What? You even aspire to be an illegal roofer? You illegal roofer? We won't call you Luther the Truther anymore. But we will not. We're going to presume you innocent. Look at here's that. I never got to show you the Bernice, the girl who entered with pomp and circumstance with Antipas, king, when Rome was getting in power there. There's Herod Antipas. No good, man. Herod the Great. Things were turbulent. Oh, boy. But they were always checking them bloodlines themselves. They had a different idea. Eventually, every Roman citizen were given 33 kilograms of grain. So that's yesterday. That's a yesterday sermon. That means you're going to get to see what's on my algorithm. Let's go skiing, everybody. Do they pop up?
If a century ago these mountains in Western America rang with the cry gold rush, today the appropriate shout would be ski boom. For a long time we hid under a blanket in the winter to stay out of the cold. Then suddenly wintertime was open to us, and we discovered fun, a chance to run away, to be happy, to find a new world and populate our lives with other people. This is what the ski boom is all about. Spontaneous and free.
There's not one thing spontaneous about the ski boom, in my opinion. Not that skiing is not fun. Don't come after me for that. I get it. It's fun. But it's not spontaneous. It was planned. Now, for context, I know people who were Philippine, they met in the Philippines, they lived there for 30, 40 years and then retired back to where the wife was from, and that's close to Telluride, Colorado. She was there. Her father was a miner. Her version was that the ski bums didn't come to town with their marijuana looking to make a ski trails. She said she remembers them coming. They had big dogs, lots of money, and they were buying everything at any price you offered them a price, they bought it. And now it's the richest place in the world. And they knew the ski bum thing was going to happen, and they knew when it was going to crash. Good thing Paco knows how to walk to the gold and the silver left over by those very inefficient miners, not 49ers.
Become a way of life.
How about that? How about that? You see that? He put his leg up.
Resort areas and improving on those already established. Why do the people come? What's the attraction? What is it about these mountains along the spine of Western America during the winter?
Uh, this is where the earth makes pure water and has pure gold and silver because he knows.
Easterners dream about it. Europeans envy it.
They do not.
Dry, cold snow with enough air to keep it from packing hard. Experts from every country claim it's some of the best skiing in the world. Snow conditions and people. Postcard mailing weekenders or month-long vacationers.
Man, those
or
old ski
first-timers.
machines used to
The
bounce,
social or
and
the
you could
rugged.
hang on for
On the
dear life,
mountain, a
man.
skier is a skier, young or old.
I said in my monologue, I wish when I was not so overconfident would have started with small skis. Oh, get a room. No goggles, no helmet.
Do a lot for you and show you a lot of neat ways of.
You know what keeps coming into my mind is that Sonny Bono, obviously mafioso, hooked up with the one and only Cher. He died. His love for skiing consumed him, and he got to where he was only fun to ski between trees, and then he died, hit one head on. And he was at that time an outspoken Republican. He was in the system. Sonny, what were you up to? Susie, what are you up to? Show me a trick.
Expressing yourself rather than just conquering the slope, making the slope conform to you.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to do it again, Susie. You're not smiling enough. Roll.
Walking the streets of Aspen, Colorado, you'd hardly recognize him as possibly the world's foremost acrobatic skier. But that he is. He is a contradiction.
Everything is brand new. Everything. And you know the X Games, you know what they do now? They drive motorcycles straight up a hill and try to pole vault and then land, do a flip and land the motorcycle going straight down. It's humans have lost their minds, but they're programmed only for adrenaline, but very few answer that call, uh, except through the video games.
Addiction to the limits of what man can do on
The
ski.
limit, there you go. Guess who can do that? Me. Guess who can't do this? Me. If I could practice in a pool, way to go, dude.
Of
It's a
those with
nightlife,
intellectual
really.
fashion
Sell the
today.
lifestyle. You get to see girls wearing bikinis every now and then. What do you think sold on the lifestyle? The pill, so you could have sex without having a baby, is it's 3 years old, 2 years old, and it's a no whole new world, and you can see movies on the TV.
Uh, some look for the challenge, coming down the hill and being able to handle it.
Yeah,
Some look for the beauty of it.
whatever. Hey, look at this one here. 16 years old. 16 years old. He became a king and he reigned 52 years. Wow. Uzziah was like waging war in the Philistine, tore down walls, built cities, spread as far as the border of Egypt. He was not only powerful, he was exceedingly powerful. I'm just trying to get you an idea that, well, the people that helped him be a great man of God were the Gibberim. Let's just start on it right off the bat here because we're not going to be able to hang out on it. Oh my goodness, they're Gibberim. They're warriors, Gibberim. Huh. Hey, like you're just big, strong, mighty men who work harder than others to say, guess what? Look at me. I don't need short skis. Sometimes you do. Here's another one. Hezekiah tore his clothes, put on sackcloth. Today is a day of distress, rebuke, and disgrace. For children have come to the point of birth, but there is no strength to deliver them. Perhaps the Lord your God will hear the words of the Rakshaka, blasphemer, whom his master, the king of Assyria, has sent to defy the living God, and he will rebuke him for the words that the Lord your God has heard. Therefore, lift up a prayer for the remnant. Things were getting bad. When it came time to go and look for him, there were 5 horses. He goes, "Let's go and see if it's true, man. Let's take the horses. We haven't eaten yet." Nah, I must take 2 horses. We're going to hang on here. They might be a trap. O Lord of hosts, verse 16, Isaiah 37. Starts, continues, God of Israel, enthroned above the cherubim, you alone are God over all the kingdoms of the earth. You made the heavens and the earth. Incline your ear, O Lord, and hear. Open your eyes, O Lord, and see. Listen to all the words of that God defying big mouth. Truly, O Lord, the kings of Assyria have laid waste all these countries and their lands. They have cast their gods into the fire and destroyed them, for they were not gods, but only wood and stone, the work of human hands. And in between verse 19 and 20, I will add, And they got us on the ropes, oh Lord. They are casting dispersions at our gate. I got 5 horses left. What's going on here? Save us from this man's hand so that all the kingdoms of earth may know that we were the only ones left. We were on the ropes, but you alone, O Lord, our God. So they won. Yay! They did it. Have you not heard? Long ago I ordained it, in days of old I planned it. That's how same chapter, verse 26 starts. It continues. In days of old I planned it. Now I've brought it to pass. I'm going to crush the star fort cities into piles of rubble. Therefore, their inhabitants, devoid of power, are dismayed and ashamed. I don't know how many temples the Medes, the Persians, and Babylonians rebuilt, but I know they made a focus here on this rebuilding Zion, the city of David, Jerusalem, then the temple, started back up because they were convinced and called, anointed, chosen by God to do this. They did it. I don't know if some of the ruins that we see today are leftovers that didn't get built up. I do have to bring it up. 2 Kings chapter 5, Gehazi, you know, right there, working with Elijah the whole time. And then in the end, he gets leprosy out of everything here. You know, Nahum came to get healed from the leprosy, and he did. And Elijah wouldn't take anything, but so Gehazi said, "I want it." He went after him. He goes, "Yeah." He lies and said, "My master sent me." Elijah said, "Look, here's other 2 young men who came to study at the school of the prophets, and now we want to. How about giving them a talent of silver and 2 sets of clothing?" And the guy was so happy, he's going like, "No, take 2 talents." Elijah knew. Therefore, the leprosy of Nahum will cling to you and your descendants forever. Okay, now he's going to be a white man. Now you're white. Didn't mean the same thing. Leprosy did not mean the same thing as it did in the law to the Hebrews. So to the Gentiles, I don't know what's going on because I mean, Elijah keeps going on and he's talking about it. And here blind Arameans. Elijah saves a woman during a famine. And it's crazy because she's not even a Hebrew or something like that. Remember? Let me tell you what they've done to us. They know we are starving. So they wouldn't have just ran away, would they? One of his servants replied, "Please have scouts take 5 of the horses that remain in the city. Their plight will be no worse than all the Israelites who are left here." Because they're on the ropes. You can see that all the Israelites here are doomed. So let us send out and see if we've really been rescued. Scouts take 2 chariots with horses, and the king sent them after the army. Go see. And they find out they tracked him as far as the Jordan. That's a name of a river. And indeed, the whole way was littered with their clothing and equipment. They were shedding everything so they could run away faster. And they came back, and the prophecy was fulfilled. And it, was good for everybody except the ones who doubted that it could ever happen. But Elijah said to the woman whose son he had restored, "Arise, you and your household. Go and live as a foreigner wherever you can." So Elijah's warning the woman who, she never had a son, then she had a son that died. He does a miracle, brings him back to life. Uh, and now he's saying, you gotta leave for a while. You have to go live with the Philistines for 7 years and then come back. And then when she comes back, look who's telling the king because the king's there like, I need to know more about what's going on with that Elijah. Go get me Gehazi. Well, hey, honky, what are you doing nowadays? Well, I'm ordered to relate to the king all the great things Elisha has done. I might have been calling him Elijah. Elisha was a better servant than Gehazi. So at the point when he was telling the king how Elijah had brought her son back to life, a lot of drama in that whole story. Just then the woman shows up and says, "You know what? I'm here to see the king because Elisha said I could have my land back after 7 years." And the king goes, "Prove me you're the woman." She confirms it. So the king goes, "Restore everything that's hers." We're going to be looking at some other Bible verses where these type of things just happen when they're intended. Jeroboam rested with his fathers, buried in the city of David, as Ahaziah ruled in his place. Okay, I'm drawing a blank on that. How'd I get here? I don't know. We're just going to move on. The Jews have all kinds of weird things made up about Gehazi, but I'm warning you right now, don't go down their road of like, the Bible never says, he attempted to waken the Shumanite woman's son with Elijah's staff. That they make up so many things. It's just stay away from all of their Jewish word of mouth traditions. Hezekiah, one of the greatest kings, changes to official Yahweh worship. It's verified in the body, especially the centralization worship in Jerusalem and his efforts to rid Judah of the worship of other cult gods and goddesses. Stop saying that, Wikipedia. It's in the Bible. It's right here. So it's work to be familiar with both of those books. Reading one of them is not enough. But he's the one who said, we were saving, Moses had us save the bronze serpent, and now you guys are worshiping it. I'm saying no more bronze serpent. Now it's melted dust. What do you think of that? It was not to be worshiped. We're going to get to the Bible worship, well documented, historically accurate, complete with your Bible confirmations. No king of Judah among either his predecessors or his successors could be compared with Hezekiah, the builder of many cisterns and wells. And we know well what those cisterns and wells look like. If you're a Bible believer, something sustains us, something controls us, things are provided, and we're fed like those sparrows if we belong to Him. This is the word I'm looking at. This is when you say you can't build a temple for the great spirit God. Nothing could ever contain him. Joseph did nurse his father, took care of him when everybody else in the world would have been starved, because although his dumbass brothers meant it for harm, God meant it for good. Like a Barzillai. I don't talk about him enough. I do try. 80 years old, very wealthy man. And he said, cross over with me and I will provide with you. 2 Sam 19, verse 16, interlinear. Is that one of those? He's going to, here it is. Because Barzillai, I mean, amazing, Amazing that the Lord might fulfill what he had spoken through Ahijah the Shilonite to Jeroboam, right? Roundly boo, Jeroboam, but the kingdom will be divided. It was going to happen. And really, whose fault was it? It was Solomon's fault, right? But this is the whole thing. He was going to be, oh, my father was too nice to you, Solomon. And so now I'm going to make it hard on you. It's going to be bad. And so, it's going to be divided. It was a mess, super mess. But who is this guy? Look at it right here. Indicates that the division of the kingdom was not merely a political or social occurrence, but was orchestrated by God. Things are, but still, we have to be programmed into a ski bum rush. Solomon, seeing that his son Jeroboam, future king, was a frickin' gibberim. And he was the man of valor, which, means he was a man of renown, big, healthy, active, way to go, dude, behaving, valorously as a gibberim. So he said, let's put him in charge. Little did he know this was coming back to bite him in the butt because he ain't nothing but a horn dog in all the night. This is when he was telling him, you're going to be a bad king. We got to go. This is a show on a new year. I know there's parades to watch and football games to laugh at the gamblers about. When the rugs are pulled out from under their feet. 2 Chronicles chapter 10, verse 15. So the king did not listen to the people. And indeed, this turn of events was from God, in order that Lord might fulfill the word he had spoken to Ahijah the Shalomite, to Jeroboam, son of Naboth, that he was going to be a bad king. You're going to be a bad king. You know why? Because his dad was bad. That's why. He listened to the wives. At the end there, he did. He let them do their own thing because, well, hey. So I told you earlier how this is also brand new. It was 1943, the very first Batman. Have you seen the recent Batmans? My goodness. The electrical brain. Wow. You can watch it on YouTube. But for me, it's just one of these things that they're all brand new. 1940 superheroes. Well, these are all the ones that they're still doing today, right? Captain Marvel, Batman and Robin, Captain America, Green Hornet, the Japateurs, they're right there. Oh wait, no, they don't have that one anymore. The Phantom, they'll bring that back. Don't worry, they'll reboot that. Everything was in the war, setting it up for the Shadow Knows. Spider-Man, they're all going to be friends. Now, Congo Bill, Congarilla, Superman came out, Man of Steel during the war. We can do it. Lift ourselves up by our bootstraps. They knew we were going to be set up somehow, and it kept building from them. This has only been this life. Things changed in 58. They brought you the DARPA, the STEM, the NASA. Everybody signed a thing that the government wasn't taking over if you wanted to get paid, and we moved on. Leave it to Beaver. Captain Marvel. They all started with before their other propaganda, because yeah, there was rationing. They were putting women to work. They were putting women to work was is inflation cutting the money in half. Same purple deal. Piltdown man, they faked it. I guess I'm out of bullets for what's going on today with that other stuff, except there has always been pseudoscientific claims. And it's really everybody does need to make up their own minds how they're going to live. I mean, this has happened to you. You know, we live in a world of where did this even this is all 2016, 2017. It's that new. And they use pseudoscience. It's being exposed now. What? I can't make myself into a woman or a man. They'll always be able to tell. I was always born to either make seeds or eggs. Social science, it is. Experiments. It's is the giant liberal, giant conservative conspiracy. It's everything. Social science. Looking up this word here, kicking against the goads. Kicking a hornet's nest when maybe you don't need to just come here and visit. You might need to come here and say, this is the make it and live.
I'm Blair, and this is the Dirtbag Association. I like to give my take on the Telluride ski patrollers strike. And it's probably not going to be the take that most people are giving at this point in time, but I think it's going to be kind of valid. I'm going to start off by saying I am a former union member and also a public safety member. I'm a retired Boston firefighter, so I hope those ski patrollers get everything they ask for because I understand the job they do, how important it is, and how their actions keep the mountains
They
safe,
are
keep
propping
people
up a
safe,
failing
and make the sport go
industry.
forward.
Are they
With
not?
that being said, I think again we're having a time and place where misplaced anger and rage is what's happening. I think the actual brass tacks, the numbers involved, the sheer couple of dollars that they're asking for, even if they get it, isn't going to fundamentally change their overall
You know what?
well-being,
And
their
you know
overall
what'll wipe
ability
that
to actually
smile off that
maintain
girl's
in
face
that environment. Because everyone talks about
is when her or her husband tear their ligaments. You know, have an accident trying to do things way before they're ready to. It's how people get hurt. I was hurt really because out of control snowboarder just hit me from behind because he didn't know how to turn sideways and just jam it. So he rear-ended me, and I don't mean like that. But this is all new. It's always going to be like that. And the little guys are never going to get what they deserve.
and if you're a movie star and a billionaire, well, I'm happy that you're watching, but chances are you're not. So it's all the people that drive up into that box canyon that are affected when the patrollers go on strike. Or even better, I'm going to frame it better. When the
Whatever it is, you know, it's the first day of a new year. They have the silver. They have their midterm election. They are going to wear you out with rabbit trails. The scripture alone, the it is not a joke that those books were chosen by God to say, here's what you study. And the wide road says, study it looking through this lens. If you're not in the mountains, you need to find some place where you can be alone because like I've been saying for way too long, thinking it was 5G, 6G, you know, or it will come to me, but it's something. It's slowly building until it's inevitable. Those cities are going to be thirsty, starving, and burning. And then those of us who were wise will be left alone. And the wide road is going to try to reorganize you, double down on their dumbass vaccinations and everything else. That's my opinion. Go ask your doctor how confident they are right now. It's going to happen. You need to be aware they added 1,000 years to hide the golden age past of Christ. Our parents, our grandparents, unwillingly or willingly had to be in on it. How many of them were Freemasons, Oddfellows? All took the vow. They didn't get lobotomized, institutionalized, criminalized. No, they were placed, you and me, we were placed with globes on every desk. Every one of us, every color in the world, because mafias run the world and they plan this shit. And it's going to hit the fan. It's a flat earth nation. The golden age is past. The mud flood was Armageddon. You want to be my friend? Don't tell anybody anything else. Amen. Hallelujah. Aho. Aloha. Arrivederci. Ciao. Sana. Afiresen. Nakaman. Adios, amigos. From the borders of southern Colorado and New Mexico,